Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy? Sports and Fitness Rants. I'm back, guys. Click that like button. Subscribe to my channel. What's up, y'all? Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, man. Got another great video for you guys today, as usual, man. You guys know the deal on this channel. So about setting the record straight, stopping the lies, stopping the narratives, stopping them from rewriting history, guys. And in this video, we're going to talk about the Nikola Jokic Denver Nuggets getting blown out last night by SGA's OKC Thunder. And the series was a very tough series, 7-game series, man. Weird scores. This is the second time the Nuggets were blown out in this series. We're going to talk about this video, man, because Nikola Jokic just didn't show up last night, man. And I'm not blaming the loss on him. You know, it's not just one guy's fault. He wasn't horrible in the series, but he wasn't MVP level in the series. And he hasn't been MVP level to me this entire postseason, guys. And I've talked about this. Nikola Jokic has not been MVP caliber great this postseason. He just hasn't been, especially at the end of games in the fourth quarters. He just hasn't been great in those moments. His efficiency has been way down this postseason. And last night, the man took 9 shots. He took 9 shots. I just don't understand. Sometimes he does this. Remember that game early in the season against the Lakers where he took like 7 shots and they got beat by the Lakers. And we were like, what is this dude doing? Like, Nikola Jokic, like he took 1 shot in the second half. Now, granted, he only played really the third quarter. Only played a couple minutes in the fourth quarter. The game was out of reach, but took 1 shot in the second half. 1 shot in the third quarter. That was it. Nothing else. So we're going to talk about this video. SGA finally had a really good game. Jalen Williams finally really had a really good game. Showed up in the third quarter there. Helped OKC put these guys away. And we're going to talk about this video, guys. A lot of things to go over in this video. Go over this game. And I want to thank you guys, everyone across the world, everyone across the states that's been supporting my channel. Once again, guys, I am truly, truly humbled by all support, man. And you guys know what to do. Turn the volume all the way up. Hit that play button. Remember, these videos are for educational purposes. And let's roll.
Ralston, are you on the air?
So, yes, guys, like I said, man, you guys know I had picked the Denver Nuggets to win this series in 7 games before the series started. And I was going with the, you know, in my mind, I figured Nikola Jokic would be the best player on the court. He would be the best player in the series, and that he would lead the Denver Nuggets to a victory. And to me, it looked like that was going to happen leading up to this Game 7 yesterday. And we talked about it during the live stream. Shout out to Scap, because he was very nervous about this game, and he was right on the money with what he said yesterday as far as, you know, Aaron Gordon not being 100% and maybe not playing. But where Scap was off with his, you know, analysis of how the game was going to turn out, he figured the Nuggets were going to get blown out, or he was worried the Nuggets were going to get blown out. But what we had talked about was that, you know, someone like Russell Westbrook was going to step up. Russell Westbrook did not do that. But Nikola Jokic himself did not step up and play MVP level basketball. Because for me, if Nikola Jokic, you know, had a really good game last night, a Nikola Jokic type game, and, you know, the Nuggets were able to win that game, you know, I think if Nikola Jokic was playing a really good game, they would have had a chance to win. Now, like I said, it's going to be tough because OKC is a deep team. We get all of that. But to me, OKC had not been playing really good basketball. When I watched a lot of these games, the first 6 games of the series, I probably watched about 4 of them. And I wasn't impressed with OKC, guys. I just wasn't impressed with them at all. They, like I said, they just seemed to me during this Nuggets series that they were trying to figure out the Denver Nuggets as the series was going on. And I mentioned this yesterday because they really weren't tested in the first round. The Memphis Grizzlies were a joke. John Morant was a shell of himself, which he normally is because he's always hurt and in and out of the lineup. So the Memphis Grizzlies never really posed a threat to really win any games against the OKC Thunder. The only time that they were up, John Morant got hurt, and they ended up losing that game. So to me, they kind of came into this series sleepwalking, the OKC Thunder, right? Just kind of going through the motions to win that first series. We get all of that. The Denver Nuggets, though, didn't have that luxury. They had a different road, a more difficult test in the Clippers. And once again, I did not think the Clippers were some crazy, formidable, great team. But when you have someone like Kawhi Leonard out there, if Kawhi Leonard can play the way that we saw him play in flashes in that series, they were going to be a formidable team. They had players. But ultimately, James Harden being on that team is really what cost the Clippers, you know, momentum in that series. James Harden not doing what James Harden does, really not assisting Kawhi Leonard. But the Denver Nuggets were tested in that first round, going 7 games with a tough LA Clippers team. So them coming into this series, to me, they seem more prepared, which is to me why they won game one versus OKC, if you guys remember. They stole the home court advantage in game one. They seem to be more prepared. They seem to have figured out what it was going to take for the Denver Nuggets, for them to win consistently in the playoffs. So they were playing a better brand of defense. Not a great defense, but they were better defensively. Scat mentioned this yesterday, and I agree with him. But once again, we must keep the perspective here, because them being better defensively in the playoffs is not saying much when you're ranked, what are they, ranked 22nd in the regular season? So they were bad defensively. There's nowhere to go but up. So yes, the Denver Nuggets were better defensively, but they were still not good or great or consistent. So like I said, you had games where the Nuggets look good defensively, but then games where they're getting blown out, just blown off the court. Like I said, they've lost by 30 points 3 different occasions, guys, in this postseason now. 3 different times they got beat by 30 or more, the Denver Nuggets. Great, so that doesn't show consistency on the defensive end. They gave 149 points to the OKC Thunder in game 2. 149. So this is what I'm talking about when I say the Denver Nuggets are not good defensively. They're not. They may have been better in the playoffs, but they're still not good. They still can't fall back on their defense. I told you, the great teams, right, or really good teams that are contending, they want to be able to fall back on their defense. If you really want to be a consistent team, you must be able to rely on your defense. You don't have to be the best defensive team of all time, but you want to be at least, a decent team, a top 10 defensive team, somewhere in that realm. Like I said, and have an identity. The OKC Thunder last night, they played to their identity. Now, like I said, I was watching the game. The game started off slow for OKC, and I was rooting for Russell Westbrook and the Nuggets. I thought that they were going to win the game. I thought they were going to win the series. But last night, they jumped out to a 21-10 lead, and I was actually impressed. I was surprised. Jokic came out. Christian Brown came out knocking the shots down. He came out with a little jolt, and they jumped out to an early lead. And I thought if they could jump out on OKC early and get OKC feeling the nerves, all the pressure's on OKC. It's all on them. They're supposed to beat Denver. They should have beaten Denver. The pressure's on them. So I thought if Denver got them down early, which they did, they would have folded up. But to OKC's credit, they called a timeout, they regrouped, and they came out on a spurt. And at the end of the first quarter, I believe it was 26-21. They had made a rally and closed the deficit. And then the second quarter, they just blitzed the Denver Nuggets. And the game was essentially over after the second quarter, guys. They came out in that second quarter, I think scored like 37 points, guys. And they jumped out to like a 14-point lead. It was like, I think it was 60-46 at halftime, I think it was. And like I said, they kind of put the Denver Nuggets on their heels, and they just never recovered. The third quarter came out, they blitzed them again, OKC. I think they scored 39 points or 37 points again in that third quarter, and the game was just over after that. But when I watch the game, and I'm watching the Denver Nuggets, and I'm telling you, Nikola Jokic he took 9 shots last night. And like I said, you're not here to blame Nikola Jokic. It's not his fault that they lost. They lost to I guess you could say, a better team playing better. But to me, the Denver Nuggets were right there with OKC throughout this series. The thing that OKC could fall back on, they could rely on, was their defense, because all season long, they were consistently a very good defensive team. That wasn't the Nuggets. So even though the Nuggets have been better in the playoffs, like I just mentioned, they could never really fall back and rely on their defense to that level. OKC did that last night. They were able to make the Denver Nuggets take a lot of threes. They were taking a lot of 3-point shots last night. That's not Denver Nuggets' game. The Denver Nuggets during the regular season, guys, took, on average, the least amount of threes of any other team in the NBA. They were the least 3-point chucking team in the NBA. Last night, I believe they took 40 threes. That's not really what they do. And OKC was forcing them into a lot of these threes. But once again, I keep telling you guys, I don't know why teams don't stop. Like I said, they didn't make a lot of these threes. So it wasn't like they were making them, so they kept shooting them. They didn't, from second quarter on, they weren't making a damn thing. Nothing. And they just kept shooting these threes. Like I said, if the defense is dictating to you and forcing you into these kinds of shots, damn it, you have to take control. You have to start dictating to the defense. You got to do a pump fake. Go to the lane. You can't just keep chucking these threes up, but that's what they did last night. But that's not necessarily the only thing that got the Denver Nuggets last night. If you look at this series as a whole, the Denver Nuggets have turned the ball over a lot. This is what I was talking about with Nikola Jokic. He has not been as efficient. I told you, Nikola Jokic's superpower is his efficiency. The man rarely misses shots, it seems like. He takes some shots, they seem to always go in because he's taking good looks. He's taking shots where he feels comfortable in his wheelhouse, and he gets good quality looks. You rarely see Nikola Jokic take bad shots off balance. Yet every once in a while he will hit these shots or take these shots, but rarely does Nikola Jokic force things. He doesn't force things, and I think last night he should have tried to force it more because Murray didn't have it going. We're not going to sit here and blame Jamal Murray. We're not going to do that because Jamal Murray has been really good this postseason. He wasn't great last night. He wasn't good last night. Michael Porter Jr. has been bad all postseason to me. The dude's been so inconsistent. He's been bad. But when you look at OKC, so were SGA's teammates. They were not good in this postseason. They were not consistent. Jalen Williams had a very good game last night. He bounced back because he hadn't been great this postseason or in this series. Up and down. The other Jalen Williams they have, he hasn't been great this postseason, man. Bad. Low averages, bad shooting percentages for these guys. But OKC could rely on their defense. So even if Wiggins wasn't hitting shots, even if Alex Caruso wasn't hitting shots, like I said, even if Jalen Williams is not hitting shots, even if Hartenstein's not hitting shots, right? Even if Lou Dort's not hitting shots, SJ, even if they're not doing that, they can fall back on their defense. Lou Dort, SGA, Hartenstein, Wiggins, Caruso, like all of these guys can fall back on their defense. That's what they can fall back on, their defense, to help keep them in games and help keep them flowing, right? So like I said, sometimes you're not going to make shots. It's just not going to happen. But the other guys on the Nuggets could not rely on their defense because they were never a defensive team like that all season long. Jamal Murray. Aaron Gordon has been excellent playing defense this postseason, but he's not a defender like that. Never made an all-defensive team. And once again, this is no knock on these guys, but they have never been a defensive team. Nikola Jokic has played good defense in the postseason, but damn it, he's not a defender. How many times have I seen him get schooled out there? Where's his offensive rebounding this postseason? It hasn't been there as offensive rebounding. Aaron Gordon has been dominating the offensive glass. So Nikola Jokic just wasn't great last night. He wasn't MVP level last night. And like I said, the Denver Nuggets could not fall back on their D. Also, the turnovers. We mentioned this, yes, in the live stream. Do you guys realize that Denver Nuggets had 23 turnovers last night, guys? 23. The OKC only had 10. Only 10, guys. 23-10. But it's not just Game 7. Throughout the entire series, guys, do you guys realize that the Denver, and I wrote some of these numbers down, guys, for you guys. The Denver Nuggets in this series had 124 turnovers, guys, to the OKC 78. So the OKC Thunder were a plus 46, or you could look at it another way and say the Denver Nuggets were a negative 46 in the turnover ratio. Negative 46 turnovers? That's crazy, guys. 124 to 78 in the series. This is why the Denver Nuggets are losing. You're turning the ball over. You're not playing defense like that consistently because you never were a defensive team like that. Your guys weren't making shots, and Nikola Jokic has not been great. He's been good, but not great. Look at his numbers. Let's celebrate his numbers, right? But look at his numbers in the playoffs. Look at his numbers in this series. They are not Nikola Jokic's regular season numbers. He's taking a fall off the numbers. Look at his shooting percentages. They're all down. I told you the efficiency is all. This man shot under 80% from the free throw line in the playoffs this year. He's at 77% from the free throw line. That's not like Nikola Jokic. It's not like him at all. He shot under 50% in this series. Under 50%. I think he shot, 47% in the series? Which is not bad, but for him it is. See, you can lower the standard. Nikola Jokic has a standard that he holds himself to, that they celebrate him for. So that standard, he wasn't playing up to that standard in this series, in the playoffs, in the fourth quarters. He hasn't been great. Guys like Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon have been better in the fourth quarter, scoring the ball, leading the Nuggets in these moments. Nikola Jokic missing free throws, turned the ball over. Last night, 5 turnovers. Come on, man. I want you guys to understand something. When I talk about Nikola Jokic, I'm not blaming him for the loss. It's not his fault they lost. They lost to a better team. But the Nikola Jokic was not great last night. He was not. He folded up last night, man. You only took 9 shots. You scored 20 points, dude. Come on, man. And don't forget, most of his points came at the free throw line last night. And we're going to mention the free throw line because a lot of Nikola Jokic fans were calling SGA a free throw merchant. And we're going to highlight some of the free throws discrepancies in this series. But I want you guys to think about something here. Nikola Jokic in this series averaged 5.9 assists, guys, and 4.4 turnovers. That's not good. During the regular season, Nikola Jokic averaged over 10 assists per game on 3.5 turnovers per game. But in the playoffs, in this series against OKC, he averaged 4.4 turnovers per game, which is not good. That's LeBron James-esque. At 5.9 assists per game. So essentially, for every assist that he put out, he turned the ball over. It's crazy, man. Like I said, that's not Nikola Jokic. You're not going to win that way. He wasn't MVP level in the series. SGA, guys, by comparison, averaged 6.6 assists per game in this series and only 2 turnovers per game in the series, guys. Only 2 turnovers per game for SGA. Even though he has the ball in his hands a lot, he's their main guy. 6.6 assists per game on 2 turnovers, guys. That's pretty damn good, man. Nikola Jokic, not good. Now, let's get to the secondary guys here. Jamal Murray wasn't great last night. We get that, right? Jamal Murray, listen, the Nuggets wouldn't have even been able to be in a Game 7 if it wasn't for Jamal Murray in Game 6. Remember, he wasn't feeling good in Game 6, but he stepped up and played a very good game in Game 6 to help Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets make it to Game 7. So, no, Murray wasn't great in Game 7, all right? He was mediocre at best, right? But Jamal Murray's been good this postseason, guys. So one game, we can't say, oh, it's Jamal Murray's fault. I saw Kendrick Perkins talking about, oh, the Nuggets need to move on from Jamal Murray. And here we go. Let's blame Jamal Murray. And yes, if the Nuggets want to move on from Jamal Murray, by all means, that's great. If they can, I saw someone saying that the Nuggets should trade Jamal Murray for Trae Young, or they should try to get Trae Young to the Nuggets. I don't know how people think or why people think Trae Young would be a great fit with Nikola Jokic. One of them's got to give up the ball. Nikola Jokic dominates the ball a lot, right? That's why Jamal Murray works, because Jamal Murray's not one of those, ball dominant point guards. He doesn't need the ball in his hands all the time, but Jamal Murray's been pretty damn good. He doesn't turn the ball over a lot. He doesn't take a lot of bad shots, Jamal Murray. Just sometimes he's off. He's streaky like that. Trae Young, same way. Trae Young takes a lot of bad shots, though, to me. And to me, Trae Young, I don't know if that's going to help them out. But whatever. I saw people blaming Jamal Murray. Oh, he didn't play great. No, he wasn't great, but he was good. But I want you guys to think about something here and put some perspective here. For the series, Jamal Murray averaged 20 points per game for the series, which is right on par with what he averages. So he averaged 20 points per game for the series. That was Nikola Jokic's best teammate in this series, scoring the ball-wise. 20 points per game. I think he averaged, 5 rebounds, I think 6 assists. Or 4 rebounds, 4 assists, I think, in the series, Jamal Murray. But 20 points on 40% shooting, and he shot 30% three-point line. Not great. Not great numbers from Jamal Murray, but Jamal Murray's never been known for a percentage shooter. Right? Jamal Murray's biggest strength, like I said, Nikola Jokic's best strength is his efficiency, right? And the fact that he doesn't take bad shots or turn the ball over a lot or miss a lot. And Jamal Murray's super strength is making shots when it matters most, playing big in big moments. Now, last night was a big moment. He wasn't huge, but more often than not, he is clutch and a big-time performer. So the percentage never bothered me with Jamal Murray. What we like to see from Jamal Murray is smart shot selection, but being aggressive, getting guys in pick-and-roll scenarios, right? Putting pressure on the defense. That's what we want to see, and don't turn the ball over. And he didn't really do that that much in this series. He was solid, but last night he wasn't great. But that was what he averaged. SGA's best teammate in this series was Jalen Williams. He averaged 17.6 points per game on 37% shooting. So as bad as Jamal Murray may have been in last night, or as bad as his percentages might be in this series, Jalen Williams, SGA's best teammate, was even worse than that. Even worse, at 17 points a game on 37% shooting and 23% from the three-point line. That was Jalen Williams in this series, guys. Now, Jalen Williams last night stepped up. But there were many games that he did not step up. He's been very inconsistent, which is why you're shooting 37% from the field and 23% from the three-point line. Right? That's SGA's best teammate. All right? So guys like Aaron Gordon have stepped up. He wasn't great last night, but he was playing on the hurt hamstring. So we give Aaron Gordon credit for going out there and toughing it out, even though he cried and moaned about having more days rest in between. And let me just say something about some of you guys I saw writing something about the pace of play. Let's understand something. If you follow AOH channel, which I know a lot of you guys do, then you have probably seen AOH streaming the live TNT OT angle stuff. And what does he talk about when he, streams that stuff, or when he watches the TNT OT angle? He tells you that you get a lot of behind the scenes look of the game. And what does AOH talk about? How often these fools are standing around the court. There's nothing going on. And you guys don't normally see this on the regular broadcast. So think about this. You guys are sitting there saying, oh, the pace is higher today. The pace is higher. The pace is this. The pace is not. They go from three-point line to three-point line, guys. They're not running from baseline to baseline. I don't get what you guys are talking about. I watch so many games where these guys don't even make it across half court because the shot's already been chucked up. So how much running is there? And like I said, when you watch the OT angle and you listen to AOH, you see a lot of lollygagging, TV timeouts, timeouts for official reviews, for challenges, right? You got guys just slowing the game up for fake injuries, flopping around. There's a lot of downtime when you watch that angle. You get the behind-the-scenes look. So don't give me this crap. Once again, these guys are supposed to be bigger, stronger, faster. I don't want to hear about pace. Stop mentioning the word pace in the comments. You guys sound crazy, man. You're not understanding this. These guys are standing around a lot. They're BSing and lollygagging. Dang. I don't understand you guys. So anyway, this is what we're talking about, guys. Excuse me, guys. I wrote something down here. I want to make sure I read all my points off here on you guys. Now, the last point I want to make about the Nikola Jokic Nuggets losing last night, and just in general, you guys remember, a lot of people were saying that SGA is a free throw merchant. Oh, SGA is getting all these free throws, because once again, they're crying and moaning for a regular season MVP. SGA was clearly the MVP of the regular season, and once again, guys, this has been highlighted. But in this series, guys, people are talking about, oh, SGA gets free throws, SGA free throws, SGA free throws. And I told you guys, go look at the Denver Nuggets and how many free throws they got this season in relation to how many fouls get called against them. They get a lot of help, too. They get a lot of free throws. And no one's saying that it's, anything shady going on. But damn it, you guys are always making up excuses for SGA. So in the series, guys, SGA shot 63 free throws in the series. Nikola Jokic shot 64. So Nikola Jokic's got one more free throw than the free throw merchant, SGA. You guys get exposed with this stuff. I told you, it's not about Nikola Jokic, it's his fan base. You guys don't make any sense. You guys are a bunch of clowns. You guys always try to crap on everybody else and excuse Nikola Jokic. So who's the free throw merchant now? Doesn't seem like SGA in this series, was it? Nikola Jokic's got one more free throw than him. But Nikola Jokic did not shoot from the free throw line as good as SGA in this series. Also, let's take it a step further. How many free throws did the Denver Nuggets get versus OKC? Because OKC must have gotten more. They had the free throw merch on their team, right? Wrong again. The Denver Nuggets shot 192 free throws to the OKC Thunder's 175. So it's not a huge discrepancy. I'm not saying that the Denver Nuggets were getting help from the referees, but this exposes the Nikola Jokic fan base. And the way that they talk about SGA. His team got more free throws. Nikola Jokic shot more free throws than SGA. Nikola Jokic had way more turnovers than SGA. Their men averaged almost 4.5 turnovers per game in this series. On 5.5 assists per game. That's horrendous for Nikola Jokic. All of his shooting numbers were down. His points were down. His rebounds were down. He wasn't offensive rebound like that in this series. The entire postseason, he wasn't clutch in the fourth quarters. He wasn't clutch. SGA and the OKC Thunder blew these guys out. The Denver Nuggets turned the ball over. They just didn't have enough anymore, man. And like I said, for Nikola Jokic to take 9 shots in the game is insane, man. He should have went out there and donned his shield. He should have been taking 20 shots. He should have been chucking up shots, just forcing stuff. Porter Jr. wasn't going to do a damn thing out there. So once again, though, look at SGA's teammates. They weren't spectacular. Jalen Williams stepped up in that second quarter. He was huge in that second quarter, man. But Alex Caruso was decent, but he was been on and off. Like I said, of the other Jalen Williams on and off. Hartenstein has been on and off. What did Lou Dort do last night? Lou Dort, what did he do for the series, Lou Dort? Not a damn thing. Like I wrote down something here for one of these guys. Like Lou Dort in the series averaged 9 points per game on 33% shooting, guys. 28% shooting from 3. That was Lou Dort. And the only reason I'm mentioning him, and we know he's a defensive 3-and-D guy. But during the regular season, he shot 41% from 3, averaged 10 points per game. But in the series, he averaged 28%. I mean, shot 28% from 3. So he's not 3-and-D. He's just D at that point. SGA teammates weren't great, man. Neither were Nikola Jokic. They weren't great. They were good. And Nikola Jokic was not great in the series, man. SGA wasn't playing great in the series either. He was great last night. Nikola Jokic wasn't. And that's part of the reason why Denver Nuggets lost. The turnovers, like I said, not being able to fall back on their defense. They were never that team. You guys know that these are the facts, man. And Russell Westbrook, man, he didn't do what we were hoping. I was hoping Russell Westbrook would go out there and just give him a jolt and just play a great game and be productive. But it just wasn't supposed to be, man. So you guys know the deal, man. I'll catch you guys on the next one.